Hi everyone, welcome to the first of the deep dive project that I'm going to do. I'm going to have a look into some of the tracks that I've made or some of the techniques that I've used and just talk you through them. So this was made for patrons, and I asked you guys to think about what track that you might like to have a look into, and it was actually DJ Maggie who suggested Nirvana this time round, so I'm going to do that for you this month and just take a look at the track, how it's made, maybe some of the thoughts behind it, and hopefully I can actually remember some stuff about this track since it is a little while since I put it together. So I had, first of all, the audio is from the 2015 Point Break remake, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. I actually really enjoyed it, but there was a point in there where they were all sitting around a campfire, and I heard them talking, and there was no incidental music, and it just seemed like quite a nice little bit of audio to use. So that sits there at the start and then comes in at a few different points throughout the track, but most likely the track was built around this like kick, snare, percussion sound, and then the dub sound that I put in there. So first of all, I'll play you the intro so you can hear the audio, and then I'll talk a little bit about the beat.
So we're gonna jump off a mountain to reach Nirvana.
It's not that simple.
These glitch sounds are the first thing in there, almost like a vinyl glitch.
It is not about risking our lives for personal gain. It is about becoming part of something that is much greater than ourselves.
So that kick there is absolutely huge. It's from a Ghost Tech sample pack, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh my word!" Like that kick right there is the one. That's the waveform. If you can see that, if that makes any sense to you, there. It's monster kick. It's just got such a huge amount of stuff going on. It's super long, so I wanted that to be the first kick that happens. And then as backup kicks, there's a little bit of a shorter one with the same EQ on both, and this kind of snare pattern that happens. Also Ghost Tech snare. Not a huge amount to that. It's a pretty basic pattern. There is that really high pitched bleep sound, which I wonder if everybody can hear. And then a couple of glitch sounds as well, glitch sort of patterny kind of rhythms. Now actually these two here, or these two channels, they were originally a Contact's instrument, but I don't have the instrument anymore. I've lost it. I've no idea what it's called, and Contact's been upgraded since then, and so fortunately I had the stems rendered out because I got a remix done, managed to find them, so I've put them in, but originally these were MIDI. So just kind of random clicks, which I quite like the sound of. And then obviously after that break, the dubs come in. There's also some additional sounds in there. Got that kind of additional sort of like shaker type sound. And then I look at the actual dub sounds as well, which is basically a chord played into Massive. So I spend a lot of time working on synths in Massive. This is one that I built from scratch. It'll be hence the untitled sound. So hear that there, and it just kind of, there's a delay, EQ, and a little bit of a compressor on there. Well, actually, you probably take the filter off that and you'll hear it without the filter, the dimension expander, the reverb, the EQ, any other filters, and you might be a bit surprised. Let's hear it. Still got the delay on there as well if I turn that off. Yeah, not much to it. So there's delay and EQ on there. And the filter makes a big difference. You've got dimension expander. And then obviously the additional reverb and an EQ which takes a little bit off the low and boosts a higher frequency, and that's set to an LFO which kind of oscillates back and forward to give a bit of variation, and then just boosting the high a little bit there as well. That's kind of always moving. That's, I guess, the meat and potatoes of the track, really. And then you've got all the additional bits. So there's lots of things here. We've got the thumb piano. Childish name for it, but you know what I mean. Various sounds here. I like to use kind of one shots for this sort of thing, and then for this little bit where it kind of falls back into the beat, I found some really nice percussive sounds which just kind of have the effect of kind of it just falls back in. You'll see what I mean.
Give more than we take. We want to stop the destruction of the very place that gives us life.
It's got that sort of do. Yeah, and then we're back into kind of the main part of the track there. So you've got a good solid bit there, and actually I bring in the thumb piano and some additional percussion. So there's this sound that comes in. Let's hear that. There's that one there, and then there's additional percussion that comes in as well. Just kind of like spoons and forks and stuff by the sounds of it, but yeah, that's from a sample pack. It's just a little bit of a sample right from the end there, so hearing that in context. And then after the second breakdown, oh, actually, there's a little bit of a flute, kind of stern-sounding flute in there in that second breakdown. Some additional clicks, all of these little bits adding up, and then we go into kind of, I guess, the kind of ending part of it, which initially I thought maybe drags it out a little bit too long, but I quite like the difference in vibe. So what we've got here is a different sub-pattern, some strings, a piano, and then we've got guitar sounds, various little things here, and we're back into the rain sounds again, just for a bit more atmosphere. So these string sounds I will most likely have played into a contact instrument and recorded into an audio. Unless, I'm wondering if they're a sample or not. I forget now. The piano is a contact instrument as well.
Not that simple.
There's a lot of EQ, there's reverb and a compressor on there, so without that, to stick a lot of reverb on things. Guitar sounds. Then there's vocals come in on the same channel after that. Actually, if I let you hear this channel without the effects chain that I've got on. I think it makes a lot of difference having that on there. And then actually, as we get towards the end, turn on automation mode, I automated the song tempo to slow right down from that 7-minute mark. So it goes from 120 BPM down to 70-ish. That is more or less it. That's how the track has come together. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an insight into how that I put my tracks together. I don't know if this one was super interesting, but yeah, now you've seen behind the curtain. Maybe that's ruined it. Who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for watching if you've watched this far, and yeah, hopefully I can expose another track for you, give you a bit more of an insight into some of the stuff that I'm doing. But ultimately, yeah, I build these tracks up channel by channel. Quite often I'll work in clip view instead, but I think this one actually came together in timeline view, which was unusual for me at the time. I do work in timeline view now, but for a while I would really only build things in clip view and then work down the way, record it into timeline view, and then mess about with it here. But yes, that will make no sense to anybody who's not used Ableton, but still, there we go. Stillhead, Nirvana. Yeah, enjoy.